Hey everybody, it's Amy Hart. How you guys doing out there tonight? I am cozied up next to a warm fire and I have a nice glass of silver oak. I don't know about you, but it's the end of April and it was snowing this morning. So I guess if you have to be quarantined, you might as well be cozy with a fire in your house and relaxing and enjoying the moment. So here I am. I am so excited about my guest tonight. Her name is Kristen Megala. She is with KittyPlays. She's a super rock star. I love this girl. She's a Fortnite gamer, and she's a show host who has gained an audience in Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter, where she interviews and plays with celebrities. She games and she competes in eSports, and she has a Great Dane in Yuri. She does great stuff. I don't know if you guys watch her on YouTube, but she's so cute. She's full of life and energy, and I just love the things that she's done. So I'm really happy to have her on our segment of Powerhouse Women in Sports. And as you know, gaming is becoming really, really big. It's amazing the amount of money these kids make. I can't even believe it. But we're going to go into all of that when she comes in, and we're just going to have a little fireside chat. Hey, Kristen, how are you?
I'm doing great, Amy. How are you?
Good. I'm so happy to have you on. How have you been doing during all this crazy quarantine stuff?
As kind of life-changing as this has been for probably the majority of people, my lifestyle before this really wasn't much different. The only thing for me that's really come up is I've had my boyfriend isn't going to work every morning anymore, so I've been having him gaming next to me for a lot of the quarantine and being able to spend more time together. So I think that's pretty much the only difference.
I watched your YouTube video with you giving him a hair buzz the other night. I was a little worried at the beginning. I was like, I don't know how well this is going to go, but yeah, it turned out pretty good.
Pretty good. And as it's a couple of weeks since then now, so it's grown out and it's like a nice fade now. But yeah, no, my first time cutting hair like that, and I wasn't using head hair trimmers, so it went as well as it could.
That was fun. Actually, I was hoping to see Yuri.
Here she is.
Yes. Awesome.
Hanging out.
It's so funny. I have two dogs, Scarlet and Simba, and they're usually always in my videos, but I don't know where they are right now. They're chasing squirrels.
I love that. What kind? What kind of dogs do you have?
She's a Rhodesian Ridgeback Scarlet, and Simba is a Golden Retriever.
Oh, I love those. I had a golden retriever growing up, and then there's a lot of Rhodesians in the neighborhood for some reason, and they're absolutely incredible dogs. So
aren't they? They're amazing.
Good
It's so funny because we're not in the city right now. We're in the Hamptons, but we have, an apartment in the city, and we have these massive dogs, and I mean, they're city dogs for sure. They just adapt.
Yeah, they learn to just sleep. Like she just sleeps all the time. Yeah.
So amazing. So I'm so happy to have you on because I'll be honest with you. I know a little bit about gaming, but I don't know tons. I think if I got started in playing those games, I would never stop because I get really addicted to it. So I'm like, all right, I get in the moment and then hours go by. Like how many hours a day do you spend doing this?
So it's varied throughout my career, but when I've been really seriously focused on, the best gameplay, the best entertainment in my streams, like I was doing between 10 and 14-hour days live streaming and playing video games.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a lot. So tell me, let's for my listeners, I mean, I know they're totally pumped to hear you, but let's go back a little bit. Like when did you start playing?
So I started playing video games when I was 3 or 4 years old. I would sit on my dad's lap and play games, and he was showing me different things like Doom and Quake, which were really fun and awesome for me to play. And then from there, I've transitioned into just playing every game console I could at any friend's house, and got into gaming seriously when I was in my teens, and then for a living 6 years ago.
Wow. Awesome. So when you were younger and you were playing just for fun, did you ever think you wanted to be a professional gamer, or was it really not big when you were, just playing around?
I never had the understanding of what it would be today, obviously. But when I remember when I was 13 years old and I was raiding in World of Warcraft, and my mom came in the summer and she's like, Kristen, you gotta go outside, you gotta go party with your friends, like get out there, go enjoy the weather. I was like, no, mom, I can't. I'm playing video games. One day I'm going to figure out how to get paid to play video games. And at the time, it was just game developers and testers. So it was nice to have the industry open up. And there's definitely times where I made way for myself to be able to earn a living in it, and careers out of what people didn't understand could be a career. So
Right.
been a good ride.
I honestly, I can't believe like how, when I look at some of the salaries for some of these young kids gaming, it's unbelievable to me. Like,
yeah.
Now, I mean, is there a big gap difference between female or men, or does it matter?
I think the majority of gamers that play for money are men. I think there's a lot of women who are still kind of hesitant to be as open with their gaming habits as the guys are, which is changing. And I think for a lot of women, we've kind of felt like there has been glass ceilings for us growing within at least the content creation industry. And because it's just, the men get so many more viewers, and that's really what's dependent on how much money they're earning. And if we're just talking with esports salaries, the better the player you are, the more money you're going to get paid. Or if you're more marketable too, that's really important. So with the women, at least for Gen G, they're paid competitive salaries to their male counterparts.
Oh, that surprises me that men have higher viewers, because I would think that the really like gorgeous women like you, like that really can play and know the game, would get higher viewership.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it's just a different type of audience, and it's a different type of experience for those guys. And it's kind of like, it's like a big boys club. Like the guys are entertaining, they're good at the games, and it's like just like hanging out with your buddies. Whereas I think there's a lot of guys still learning that when they watch a woman online, like they don't have to have a crush on them. She can just be a cool chick that's good at video games. Like they don't have to be embarrassed if someone else sees them watching a girl game, like, and bug them about it. So I think there's still some stigma that we're trying to overcome. Sure. But I mean, as with any industry, you run into things like that. So.
But I've watched you too, like when you're gaming with when you were with guys, and you're like one of the guys. I mean, you're totally, you know what I mean? You kind of keep it going. So I think you make it more exciting.
Thank you. Yeah, really, I mean, cool. I am very biased. I love watching women game more than men. I feel like they kind of have to, like, there's something that they're trying to overcome. So it actually makes them more entertaining. They're a lot more interactive, typically more excitable, which is really fun to like watch and be part of. So yeah, my preference is to watch women online, but I think we just need to have probably more women like learn about like live streaming and about video game content creation to even be introduced to it, like it would be through your podcast right now. So
exciting. How intense is that? Like if somebody said, oh, you know what, I really love this and I want to get started, like what do you have to do to really dive in and be a professional female gamer?
I think it's really dependent on like what kind of like caliber you're holding yourself to. I mean, immediately just learning how to live stream or record your gaming content, or learning how to play the game that you want to become a professional in. That's, you know, a click of a couple buttons. But if you want to, you know, learn like to be the best and to be competitive and to be like to be able to take it to a point where you can do it full time, that requires like more involvement. You need to understand that it's space more, the industry more, marketing yourself, aligning yourself with there's so many different games to play now. So aligning yourself with the right games, and branding obviously is a huge important role too. So, but the nice thing about it is because it is easy as just a click of a button, and it can be as hard as getting a master's degree. So it's in everything kind of in between. So there's a spot for everybody.
What advice do you have for, you know, for young girls like starting out? Like, I just want to get started. What's the most important thing that you could tell them?
To be boldly yourself, I would say, is something that would Yeah, that's the advice I would give, because there's so much kind of whittling away of your character when you go through anything, whether you're becoming an actress or a gamer or you're working at a new company. And it's
Yeah.
just to like remember your own uniqueness and explore your own uniqueness and be true to that and really do your best to maintain that, because there's going to be criticism. You're going to run up against some harassment, but you're going to meet really amazing people. You're going to make incredible friends, have great experiences and great connections. So yeah, just be there to relax and enjoy, and remember to just be yourself and be bold with it.
You know what? There was something that I watched. It was another one of you have tons of YouTubes, but I was cruising through them. I was like going on for hours. But there was something that stuck with me. You were talking about you're just really open and honest about just who you are and the struggles that you've had, and I really appreciated that. But you were just talking about, just the glamorous life of social media and how everything looks so, beautiful and fluffy and perfect, and it's not. And we all have struggles, and I just really love that. Can you elaborate? Like, because I feel like now, you're a role model. People really look up to you. So it's important to really be honest about things.
Yeah, I think I know what video you're talking about, but that's definitely been kind of a theme that I've brought along with it, where it's there's so many people that kind of have looked up to me when they're looking to begin like their own path and career within the gaming space, and it looks very glamorous. Like I live in a beautiful home in Los Angeles. I get to play video games all day. I get to spend time with my friends and earn like a really lavish living. And right now, social currency is kind of what everybody is pining for, even more than money. Like they're spending money for fake social currency. So it's just created.
It's insanity, really, right?
It's total insanity, but it's just ingrained now. I mean, like I can't see us ever going back from it now. It's crazy. So recognizing that and always reminding people that like what I show online, I'm always going to be authentic, but I might not be posting the days where things aren't going as well, or I'm as frustrated or breaking down. And I actually, back in the day when I watched Brene Brown's vulnerability TED Talk,
yes, it was great.
Yeah, and just recognizing like and reminding myself that's where I connect with people, and that's where I make like real, true human connections. So when I'm in those places, reminding them like, hey, like I feel isolated as heck most of the time. Like now that I have my partner here, it's one thing, but it's a lonely, lonely place when you're growing and things are changing and you're just working on your hustle, and you isolate when you're growing and building things too. So it's not without its challenges, but the amount of experiences I've had, if you just keep a positive mindset and are open to new experiences and to grow and develop your brand, it's a really fun overall experience.
Yeah, definitely. And there was another thing that you said that really struck something in my heart. You said that material wealth was something that came easy for you, and that just in general, because it was just because you were doing what you loved and it flowed in. But for most people these days, that's one of the hardest things. Yeah. Because people are trying this and that, and they're trying to make it. For you, doing what you love has created that for you. Like what kind of mindset do you have to develop that?
Well, a lot of it feeds into like the basics of law of attraction. I think when it comes to that, like if you feel as if you can create whatever you want. But I mean, also it's really important to recognize that if you're modeling your path off of anybody else's, you're immediately stealing your own power. So a lot of people come into this and they'll look at me, KittyPlays, they'll see the donation videos, they'll see the amount of followers I have, they'll like see this travel life I live, they're like, wow, I want that. And they'll chart my path from like beginning till now, which is, you could do, I got a lot of YouTube videos you were just saying, and try and kind of mimic and model that without bringing, and with the sole goal of becoming what I have now and what I have today. But the industry has changed, the times have changed, the alignment isn't going to be there. And if you're not focusing on what you're excited about and what your passions are and where your uniqueness lies, like one, the world is missing out on that, but two, like you're kind of handicapping yourself because that's where the abundance flows from. Like when you come into the world and flow your creativity and you're bold and you take risks, that's where like the real material wealth comes in. And there's a lot of people that know this secret, but you can't explain it until you've experienced it and you've recognized it in your own life. So yeah, just be more bold, guys.
I mean, the law of the universe, that's one thing. I mean, I've experienced it. It's happened in my life, but sometimes it's hard to explain to someone if they can't see it, then they don't think it's there, but it's always there in the vortex. I don't know if you've ever heard that.
Yeah. I know. I know.
Abraham.
I have my fair share. Yeah.
I love them. Always, and so I'm always like, okay, I think before, okay, if I'm not in my vortex, I'm not making, I know, that's so cute. I'm not making any major decisions, So I totally believe that.
And
you
recognizing
also talk about how,
like a lot of people will be out of the vortex and they don't even know. Like, so just gotta check in more often. But yeah.
And the whole thing about it is when you're in your vortex, you're happy, you're free, you're doing what you love, you're not worrying about what people think about you. It's a feeling. Yeah. And when you're feeling that, then you should make decisions. Then you should go after things. When you're down and out is not. Right?
With the momentum.
So it's I
love that feeling.
And like you have, speaking of momentum, I mean, there's something about gaming, like what is it? What's so exciting about it when you're in the moment, when you're in tournaments? Like, to explain it to us.
Oh, everything is heightened, it's how many opportunities do we really have as people to be in this super strategic, highly competitive environment where you're taking risks, you're having to make quick decisions, you're analyzing the fields. And, when you're online and playing these competitive games, you get that rush and you get that feeling and you get that, like, it's like total, like your brain is operating on like max level. And then you have an opportunity to win over other people and show that all your practice is paid off and that you're great at the game, like, and the bliss that comes with that. And then you take it into live situations too, where you're getting to see the faces of the people that you're playing against, the people that you beat. And, I'm assuming it's probably similar to like when you're in pro sports, but when you win out of, 100 other people and you're that last one on stage and they're calling your name and walking up to you with like the check or the mic or interviewing you, it's just like, it's
adrenaline. Yeah, it's a rush. It's that beautiful feeling, and you get that. Do you do, like, because I'm still learning more about it, do you do all of your stuff in home, or when you go into tournaments, do you actually go to like Vegas and you're like in a tournament space?
So the tournaments that I've done were in LA and in Korea. So it will be a gaming event. They'll set up all the computers. You come in, there's a green room, and then they shoot you out to play. So it is at venues, but a lot of the practicing, a lot of the scrimming, a lot of the qualifiers for a lot of these tournaments are from home. And then once they've kind of whittled down the player pool, then they'll invite them and fly them out to the events.
Cool. So what's your favorite game? Do you have one?
I definitely don't have one right now. It's been one of the nice things about being in quarantine is just, the time that I would normally spend on projects that were canceled in the future, I get to spend on trying other games. But I've been a really big fan of Valorant. It's a closed beta that just came out. So if you're wanting to play it right away, you'll have to try and get a key on Twitch. And then I've also been playing a lot of Modern Warfare, which their new Battle Royale mode is free to play and cross-platform. So all my friends that are now having more time to be like, oh, I'm going to dust off my PS4 or my Xbox. What games should I play? Then we can play and interact together. So that's been really fun too.
Oh, that's cool. And you said your boyfriend is a gamer too, so that's nice.
Yeah, he is. He's been playing a lot of World of Warcraft Classic lately, so it's been fun to watch him raid and level his character and work hard. It's Yeah, it's the little goal. Like you feel like you're attaining goals, and there's some sense of routine and framework. And I think that's why there's been such a shift into gaming during this time.
So another thing that you said is that you want to retire by age 30, which is really impressive.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good. Those are great goals to have.
Yeah. It's a soft retire. It's just making sure that I'm not going out and splurging on something that's not an experience. And I'm checking in with myself and being like, is this going to make me feel like an empress, queen, goddess when I walk down the street? Then yes, I'm going to buy it, like, because that's important to me. But if I'm doing it out of the vortex, then I probably shouldn't buy it. So saving that money, investing in things that are important to me and things that I believe in and trust, and then taking risks now so that I can set myself up in my 30s to soft retire, which I look at as being like knowing that all of my survival needs for myself, my partner, and future children are covered. And then I want to build more businesses. And
like, do you have like something like that you want to inspire that you want to do like after you're done with this, or will you always kind of do this?
This has always felt like a stepping stone. It was an opportunity for me to show myself that I had willingness to risk. I could build a brand, build a business, connect with community, and gain all like the kind of business soft skills that I needed to know that I could run a company and be a leader. And then now I feel myself, I've learned enough about the industry now that I do a lot of consulting for companies looking to get into the gaming space. But ultimately, I really get the most joy from inspiring other people and like igniting those little fires in their heart and reminding them that, anything can be possible. You just need the right tools and the right mindset and the right tribe. So leaning into more one-on-one, I don't like using the word coaching because it's really not coaching, but like one-on-one empowerment with people. Because I've done so much mentorship with women in my gaming industry. So now kind of expanding that and being like, hey, these tools work well for anyone doing anything. Let's explore that. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, I feel like a lot of your stuff is empowering already, and just your day-to-day stuff that you do is fun. It's like people want to see what you're up to, and it's good stuff. That's the way it should be. You got to have some fun with it.
I agree.
So I hear you're launching a consulting agency for brands looking for re-imaging on how to engage gaming communities called Radiance Media.
Yeah. We're just launching. Yeah, this has been kind of a brainchild of mine for years now, probably 4 years. It's been, I guess, an incubation. Just waiting for the right moment for the stars to align and the industry to kind of be ready for like something like this. And now after you've seen over the last 2 years where businesses are even mentioning the word gaming or starting to understand what live streaming and content creation is, it's a huge opportunity to really kind of take them through their entry into the gaming industry in an authentic, fun way that's like winning for the company, for the creator involved, and for the community as well. Because the gaming community, we are born and raised on the internet. We've got a really high BS meter. And if you're coming in and trying to do anything that it isn't authentic or is trying to sell something that's really not adding any value to the space, they'll call you out, and they'll call you out in really public places. So it's just making sure that it's upping the professionalism of the gaming industry. I know that's been a focus for a lot of different management agencies and activation groups, because for so long it was a bit of a Wild West situation where people didn't even know how to read contracts. So we're like leveling up. So yeah, that was just something I've always been excited on. And now I've got the right people and the right timing to make it a reality.
Cool. Have you already launched it, or are you still working on it?
Well, we haven't had the launch party yet. That was one of the things that we were planning on doing this spring, but obviously things have been changing. So now we've been, teasing it out and booking just some small things to support people who are now getting excited about how they can activate in this industry that's thriving during a pandemic, which.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It doesn't really affect you. It's actually probably doing even better, right? Because
Yes.
people are inside and they have to watch.
Yeah. More people like I would say the late adapters now are kind of getting forced to seek out this new form of content because they're consuming everything else.
Right.
So now they're like, oh, whoa, what is live streaming, or even just video games. A lot of people are having their perceptions on what video games were, or, the detriment of them. It's all shifting. So they're getting to see that, hey, no, this is actually a great way to connect. It's a lot more social than I realized. And it can be done in a fun, healthy way. It doesn't have to just be harping on, weapons and blood and gore. Like there's a huge variety of games to be played.
Right. And there's a lot of interaction, a lot of jokes, a lot of I watched a couple of them. I love it. Yeah. What is in the future for KittyPlays?
A little bit of just kind of full surrender mode. Every time in my life where I've reached a point where it's the unknown, which technically is all the time. We never truly know what tomorrow is going to bring, but we fool ourselves into thinking that we can track it. But really, I think, especially with everything happening with COVID-19, recognizing that every single day is different. And my only job right now is just to be present for myself, for my friends and family, for my community, and, putting out content that's authentic and aligned with who I am and the things that I'm excited about. And hopefully, remind people of the fun. Like you said, I love having fun.
Yeah, you got to.
But yeah, add some silliness into it and be strong with it. So I'm just fully surrendering into that role right now. And then really through that, like relaxation that it's bringing me when I'm releasing control, letting those new ideas come up as well, because I think this is going to I'm optimistic about the future. I think it's going to create good.
Yeah. I think there's going to be some really positive things that come from this. I know they can't see it clearly, but I really do. Yeah.
And being prepared to have those ideas come up in me to be able to support that kind of exit out of quarantine for people, and for myself too. So the future of KittyPlays right now is just in full ride in the wave mode, and seeing what comes up next.
Well, you guys, was gaming going to be in the Olympics? Is it going to be, or was it going to be? Or was it? Tell me about that.
The hype around, there's been a lot of focus groups and conversations between the Olympic Committee and different gamers and org leaders and people in our industry. So, I mean, it's being hinted at. I think their biggest challenge right now is like eSports is such a broad term. So to really narrow down to like what video game specifically possesses, the least amount of RNG, which is the random number generator randomness in a game, which one relies on the most skill or skills, and to pick the right game to be in the Olympics, that's the hardest decision because there are so many and there's so many different things that can come about, like from, chess to Fortnite or Warzone. Like, how do you choose that? And there's a lot of other, obviously, things that they have to think about. But I for sure believe that in our lifetime, we will see gaming as an Olympic sport.
I'm a fellow burner. I had to say that.
I love that.
I mean, I had a feeling, I knew that it was going to be canceled this year, but, it's something that we love. I got engaged to Burning Man.
No way. I love that. I got actually like fake engaged at Burning Man at Spanky's.
You did?
I don't know if you ever went there, but in order to get a drink, you have to roll a dice and then do whatever is on this list. So I don't know what rating your podcast is, but I gave my man a cat themed lap dance. I did do a lap dance as my own spirit animal, and he had to propose to me. So on the dirt floor right next to the bar, he like got down on one knee and said all these nice things and proposed to me.
Amazing.
But I'm sure yours was much more
romantic
and
honestly,
true.
I was wearing, the outfit I had, it was hysterical. I had this purple wig on. I had no idea what was going on, but my whole camp, we had our own camp, and they all did. I mean, it was messy and dirty and fun, and it was the best. I wouldn't want it any other way.
Just the way it was supposed to be. That's incredible.
Yeah.
I love that you had nothing, like you had no idea either. Those are the best
And I'm
ones.
so nosy. I don't even know how that happened. So, but it was beautiful.
Impressive.
Yeah. Well, it was so awesome talking to you today. I'm going to keep following you. I love your YouTubes. They're inspiring. Like I feel like happy after I watch you. And that's what it should be about. I mean, you are a role model. Women look up to you. And I think a lot of girls are like, I can do this. I can make this happen. If she can do it, I can do it. Right?
Yes, that's my entire goal. So I'm glad you recognize that. Thank you.
Completely. Do you have any like last words, like inspiring words or advice for people that are kind of struggling during this time?
Yeah, I just want to let everybody know how much I love them, even though I've never met you before. I'm sending you so much love, and I'm reminding you that I am proud of you. You are exactly where you intended to be. There's nothing that you need to be doing right now except for taking care of yourself, relaxing, and enjoying this really, really unique experience of this timeline we're on right now, because no one's ever experienced what we're going through right now in this moment. And yeah, just to be kind to yourself and others right now. So
I agree. I'm sending the same love out there. It was amazing talking to you. Like I said, I'm going to keep watching you. Keep us up to date on what's going on. Where can we find you for people that don't have your Instagram tag and stuff?
Yeah, I am KittyPlays, KittyPlays on all social media: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, and whatever new pops up, I'll be KittyPlays on there.
Amazing. It was awesome having you. I wish you so much luck. Stay safe and healthy and happy.
I will. Thank you so much, Amy.
Okay. Ciao.
A Parkville Media Production.